I wanted to talk a little bit today about retirement, about living long-term in another country, or even doing a hybrid arrangement where you might spend 6 months in one country, 6 months in another country, or flit around to different countries. But also this new way of doing things, which is not just finishing work and sitting at home in your home country and then deciding what to do next. It's actually this more progressive thing that's going on now, where people are choosing to spend a lot of time in other places, and sometimes it's in their home country, but sometimes it's overseas. And today I came to a place that I find quite fascinating and potentially is a mecca for retirement for retirees coming from a place like Australia. And it sort of got me thinking because of cost of living and this island vibe that we have here. Today I'm going to show you around this island. We'll have a little bit of a poke around, have a chat about what's possible, what's not, what some of the misconceptions of this place are, because it's really misconceived, that's for sure. And perhaps you'll even come away thinking, you know what, I could probably do that. So come along with me today as we explore Gili Trawangan. You're gonna love it, honestly. The thing about Gili T is that it's got a reputation about it as being a party island. And when I was here last time, I sort of felt that that's not really fair to characterise Gili T as the party island and Gili Mecca as the honeymoon island or the romantic island, and then Gili A out of the one in between. I think that's a little bit simplistic. So what I wanted to do is explore Gili T today and show you around a little bit and show you a side of it which I think gets you away from the party scene a little bit, but also shows you where that party scene is if you wanted to dip your toes in or if you wanted to avoid it. The plan is today I'm going to sort of go out towards the evening time, go from the daytime, which it is now, into the evening and sort of get a feel for the place. I'm staying at a place called Little Elephant. I've only just arrived and it looks beautiful. It's Western run, I think. The lady I met when I got here, she seemed like a Westerner, so I'm thinking it's Western run. I'm paying 800,000 rupiah per night. This is what it looks like. I mean, it's got a great design to it. It seems to have been fairly recently renovated. That's what I'm feeling. And it has a very, very good feel about it. It's quite large, this room. Quite large, quite modern. Yeah, look at that. That is a beautiful, beautiful looking room in a very quiet part of the island. I'm not hearing any noise or anything around here at all. Nice and cool inside. They don't have a pool here. I'm not sure how important a pool is here on the Gilis. I'm not sure. I don't generally get into the pool so much anyway. And on the Gilis, the snorkeling and ocean here is so amazing that the pool is not as valuable as it might be in a place that doesn't really have good swimming in the ocean. Like the ocean here is dead flat and turquoise crystal clear water. So a pool, of course, is a bit of a luxury that'd be nice to have, but it's not mandatory, I think. So stick around as we have a look around Gili T and see what's going on, see whether it's a place that you might want to come. I think it might be. I think there's something to this place that I think most people might like. I'll also go over how you get here as well. I'm just going to mampir into this place to just drop into this place called Moody. It's apparently a pretty modern place to go and have a bite to eat. It's sort of the thing here in Gili T. A lot of modern places these days mixed with the warung style. You can have whatever you want. So I'm just going to try the modern one and see how we go. That's what we're talking about. Look how modern this is. Like this wouldn't be out of place anywhere in the world, really, would it? So I'm actually here with Susan on the Gilis. And just a little light lunch here, a bit of grilled cheese that we're sharing, and a panna chocolate. We're just waiting on the drinks now. I'm going to give this grilled cheese a go. Got some little chips here. Hand cut, homemade. Let's see what the grilled cheese is like. A bit of relish on there as well, tomato relish. That's good. A bit of, I don't know what that is, like something tomatoey maybe? Ooh, that's good. The thing is, that grilled cheese sandwich is 130,000 and that's expensive for Indonesia, but when the quality's there, it's probably okay, isn't it? All right, let's give this a go. They've heated it up. Nice and crispy and buttery. Just realised I started eating it like down that way, and towards the end that's where the chocolate is. So I'm going to eat half of it
You get no chocolate, and then Susan gets double chocolate.
I've got a funny feeling this is a fairly new place, and they're trying to iron out a few bugs. So I've got my hot cappuccino, but it took about, I don't know, about 20, 25 minutes to come out actually. I don't know why. It's not because people forgot. The drinks just seem to take a long time to come out. Anyway, let's give the coffee a go. Mantap. Very good, very good, worth the wait. I would have liked it to come out a bit quicker, but yes, it was a great coffee. Actually, Susan was saying with that grilled cheese that I had, it's not tomato relish on there, it's like kimchi, but it doesn't taste like kimchi at all. It tastes like tomato relish to me. It's very nice. Actually, everything here is really good. It really sort of gives me an idea of the changing face of the islands out here. They are modernising, they're changing from the old shacks on the beach type arrangement to this more modern style. And you can still get the old style as well. It's actually a really interesting thing what's going on. It's not terrible. I actually quite enjoy it. There's a lot to like about it. I think it's actually opening the door to this place to a lot more people who want a little bit more modernity, don't want a really rural feel. And you can still get that as well on the other islands like Gili Menor, but this is just, it's quite sharp. It's quite interesting. There are 4 main ways to get around Gili Trawangan. And the way that most people choose is on bicycle, like I'm doing at the moment. It's costing me $35,000 for a day from the hotel. You can probably get it cheaper elsewhere. The other ways you can get around is on like an electric bike. They're a little bit more expensive. And then you can walk, because it's about only a maximum of 7 kilometres circumference on the island. But that's a little bit more difficult to walk around the place if your accommodation's away from all the action. And then the last way is on horse and cart, which here is called a chidomo. Last time I came here, someone in the comments said that the name Gili Trawangan comes from the word Trawangan, which means tunnel in Indonesian, referring to the Japanese caves that are on the island. I thought that was a little bit odd, because that means the name of the island's only been around for 80 years, and that's not usually the case in Indonesia. Most names are pretty old. So I asked one of the staff at the cafe that I went to earlier, and they said to me that the name comes from the word Trawang, which makes a little bit more sense to me, because Trawang is the sort of the word that you use when you're putting like a piece of money up to the light to see if it's fake or not, or if you've got a piece of fabric and you want to sort of judge its quality or the fibres in it, you'll sort of put it up like that and look up into the air. Trawang. You can also use it in a more sort of mystical sense, to sort of look past or look into someone's future actually. So that makes a lot more sense to me, but that's not settled by any means, because I've got a funny feeling there might be some competing ideas on that. I actually Googled it as well to see which one was correct. And then when I Googled it, that whole Trawangan thing came up again. But my suspicion is that's not actually correct. I reckon that name, Gili Trawangan, has been around for more than 80 years. I'm here in the high season, so you'd expect it to be pretty busy around here. I'm fairly close to the centre of the action, and it's quiet. This place is not a really, really busy place. People sort of spread out a little bit. I mean, around the harbour it can get quite busy down the front there, but when you get back one street, it is quite rural still. All the roads are paved these days. They used to be dirt. When Susan was saying that when she first came many, many years ago, there were almost no paved roads at all. And that's all changed. It makes it just more pleasant to be around. Now, some people will sort of be a little bit sort of reminiscent of the old days when it used to be a lot more rural, but still, it's still quite rural, even though you've got pavements now. One of the things about this place has always been, how do you get here? What are the best ways to get here? If you're already in Bali, there's 2 main ways to do it. You either fly to Lombok, and it's pretty cheap. It's like about 700,000 one way from Bali to Lombok, and then get a car and drive it to take you to the port, and then it's only like a 20-minute ride to Gili T on the boat. Or the way that most people do it is they actually book from their accommodation wherever they are in Bali, and there are transport services that will pick you up from your hotel, take you to the port in Padang Bay in East Bali, and hook you up with a boat. And it's all sort of an all-in-one package deal. And the prices are highly variable depending on the boats and
and what sort of deals you can get from the person that you negotiate with for that ticket. Like for example, on the side of the road, you see those travel agent booths all around the place. They'll do tours and stuff. They will be able to get your ticket, and obviously they get a commission, that makes sense, but that means the price can sometimes be negotiated. For a point of reference, for me to get here this time, it cost me 400,000 from Padang Bay to Gili T, but that didn't include the transport to Sanur. I actually rode the motorbike myself. Having said that, it was the same price as if they had picked me up from Sanur and driven me all the way to Padang Bay for like over an hour and then got the boat. So 400,000 is not too bad, is it? When you consider that. The boats these days are much, much bigger than they used to be. They're huge boats. I don't know if that's just a high season thing. The boat that I caught today was just, it felt almost like a ferry. Like it's really big. Berthed next to my boat was a big catamaran that I can't remember seeing in the past. So things are sort of improving in that way as well. So it's a little bit safer to get across, because there has been problems with the boats in the past, especially those smaller ones, you know, they get a bit busted up, occasionally sink. So as I cruise around on the bike here, I've been able to make pretty good pace across the island from the southern end of it, or you know, near the jetty area, to the northern end. It's actually about 2 kilometres, I think, 2.5 k's, something like that. It's a half an hour walk basically that I've been going here, but on the bicycle, you get a bit of pace up and it's quite easy riding because the paths here are quite good. Most of the roads are paved, not all of them, but most of them. It's really easy just to cruise around on the bicycle, and you can go far from one end of the island to the other, or circle it without too much of a hassle at all. And now that I'm on this side of the island, it's really, really beautiful, really beautiful. One of the things I am seeing around here is that a lot of people are getting around on electric bikes. They're not motorbikes, they're like a larger bicycle that's got, you know, electric motor on it, and you can get 2 people on it. And so if you don't like pedaling, you can get around on one of those. It's all pretty low key and not really, it's not like aggressive on the roads or anything like that. It's not like being on the highways of Bali. That's sort of the scene over there, you know. A few little properties over here, a few little hotels. Very, very laid back and peaceful. It's actually quite nice. I might just nick up here, just park the bike and see what the beach is like over here. When I got the bicycle, the lady said, make sure you lock it everywhere you go. I just didn't lock it then, because I'm going to have it within eyesight. But apparently you can lose a bike pretty easily over here, so you're going to be a little bit careful, I guess. There you go. There's a bit of a reef over there because it's low tide, and you might not want to go too far out there. But geez, it's a beautiful beach. Beautiful beach. Bit overcast now as well. The rain looks like it might be coming in. Hope not. A little joglo style accommodation here. That's from Java, that styling. Very, very cruisy. Actually, there's a bit of a breeze around at the moment because the sun's not sort of peeking through the clouds. It's actually quite pleasant to ride around on a push bike. Well, that's cool. Little yoga place if you like to do your yoga. Oh, nice. They've got a little yoga studio up there on that pavilion. They've got these reggae bars over here. Not everywhere, but they're like these little shacks on the side of the beach, and you know, they got Buffalo Soldier going on, all these Bob Marley songs, and it's pretty cool. Like, it's pretty old school and pretty relaxed and low key. I kind of like that rather than the big sprawling beach clubs and that sort of stuff. That's what's sort of over this side of the island, the northern side. Another one of these bars. The next one up here is called Calypso Bar. Bit of a fire in there. That's not rubbish burning. I don't know what they're burning there, but it's not rubbish. Yeah, Calypso Bar. So that's all the reggae stuff over here. Oh, look at this place over here. That looks like one of those La Pirate places. I wonder what that's called. It is a La Pirate. How about that? They've got one of those at Nusa Ceningan that I know of, and that's the one over here in Gili T. Same sort of setup, I think. Just transplant your idea from one place to another. I did come over on the west side here when I came to Gili T last time to have a look at the beach clubs and so forth. It's more of like a sunset spot. That's why I'm actually coming along this side of the island at the moment, is because I wanted to see if there was a bit of a sunset going on, but there's not really anything happening. This is the scene of the bars over here. Oh, what's this place? Beach club type thing. That looks nice. Really nice. Mad Monkey, they call it. This is getting into more, more pizza joints, and there's a couple of Indian places, and the trippy bar with happy shakes. Wonder what they put in those happy shakes. I don't think the happy shake is going to be happy because it's got alcohol in it, I reckon. All right, it's time to cut back inland. So that whole section up there on the west side, I mean, it's not really my scene. That northern side is more my scene, and also the sort of mid-north section of the island where it's a little bit more rural is my style as well. The good thing about it is that you can be away from the action and get around on a bicycle or one of these electric bikes. That's the story, I think, here on Gili T, is that this whole party scene thing, I think it's actually does this place a large injustice, to be honest. Because if you just want to come here for a party, you can do that, but gee, it's not the only thing that this place is for. One of the things is that I reckon about the Gilis in general, not just Gili T, but all the Gilis, is that I reckon they're undersold. Just wait until this horse and cart goes past, otherwise I'll get bowled over. But I reckon, especially with the Aussie crowd, all right, back on track. I reckon, especially with the Aussie crowd, I think it's massively underrated. I think a lot more Aussies would absolutely love these islands, whether it's Gili T, Gili Air or Gili Menor, I don't know, but I don't see that many Aussies here, to be honest. There are more Europeans, they're onto something good. I think these places are amazing, I really do. Even, to be honest, even Nusa Lembongan, I think is a little bit underrated by the Aussie crowd. I think there's a lot more potential for Aussies to visit these places. Ooh, nice coconut grove. Oh, what's that? Amsterdam, breakfast, lunch and dinner. So all the young people are there. But I just love it. I just really love it here. The island vibes are a really refreshing sort of thing for me compared to the Bali scene. I love Bali, but coming over here and getting the island vibe, unreal. Especially these horse and carts cruising around the place. Love them. As the sun sets here on Gili Trawangan, I've been thinking a little bit about the viewers and some of the, oh, here we go. Susan's found a cat.
Feather.
Oh, it's got a feather. It's got a little scarf on too. But as I sort of think about the viewers of the channel and what a lot of people are sort of interested in as they sort of get into their 50s and 60s and so forth, and maybe even into their 70s. And a lot of people have been talking about maybe moving to Bali on a part-time basis or retiring full-time there, or, you know, lots of different things. And also the thought that not so many Australians in particular come here. Sort of got me thinking, you know, this could be a really great place for a partial retirement or a full retirement. Not just this Gili, I mean, all the Gilis in general actually is what I was more thinking, because each Gili has its own sort of feel and you'd have to find the right one for you. Like, for example, if you went to retire on Gili Menor, I reckon that'd be a hard slog because it's very, very quiet there. And unless you want a really quiet existence, that could be difficult, but it would suit some people. This island, because it's so big, you can actually find really quiet pockets here and find a nice little villa somewhere that you could rent out for a while. I reckon that'd be a great little option for a lot of people. And of course, Gili Air would be another option. I couldn't imagine sort of retiring in this sort of hustle and bustle near the harbour here or near the port here on Gili T. Whee! Just a guy nearly ran over that cat. He don't care. By the way, the word for port is Pelabuhan, but I often get that mixed up with dermaga, which is a jetty. You know, and the harbour is Pelabuhan as well. Even in English, I get them mixed up. Like, what is a port? Is it a harbour? I don't know. Here, getting back to the story. I've got a funny feeling some people would really love this as a retirement destination. In fact, because it's got a bit of a different feel to Bali, it could suit a lot more people than you'd imagine. So the feel of Bali is quite developed, quite modern, quite suburban in a lot of ways, especially if you're living in a place like Sanur. And if you're looking for something a little bit different,
a place like the Gilis could give you that island vibe retirement thing. And maybe you wouldn't do it for the full year. Maybe you'd only do it for like months at a time, but I reckon it could be quite good. And until you went crazy from the island vibes. I don't know, I kind of like it as an idea, to be honest. So this is a quite high part of the year, high season part of the year. It's not the full top high season, but it's pretty close. And it's not that busy on some of these back roads, even though we are close to what they call the party zone. So even down here, it's not that chaotic. I guess if you were living here more permanently, you'd be cruising down here on your little electric bike and having a poke around, go out to dinner and then cruise back to your little villa up in the back blocks up there like a kilometre away. That's what I'd do. The other thing you'd be obviously thinking of is healthcare. And there's about 10 clinics on this island. And then if you needed anything more serious, you have to go to the mainland, of course. But that's not so different to perhaps going to a more remote place in Bali. Like if you were living in Chandidasa in Bali, like there's no hospital there. There's a clinic, but you'd have to go pretty far, like maybe to Ambalapura to go to a proper hospital. And I guess that's the same here. Like as soon as you're away from the big hospital, it sort of doesn't really matter where you're living, does it? Anyway, that's just a bit of a thought that I was having because I think it's something that's not really on anyone's radar. And I reckon it could be, you know. I really think some people are really going to enjoy this island life. I think it's just a really unthought about.
Halo, kami dari Dirty Burger. Kalau if you want burger, come in here.
If you want to get buggered, you gotta come here.
We have a dirty burger.
Oh God, these guys. When people play up the camera, always got to go and address them. A lot of people like to do this teasing thing, and I really don't like it. So the way I turn it around is go and poke my camera in their face. That's what I do. All right, the last time I came to Gili T, I came to this place. I'm going to take Susan here because I reckon it's pretty good pizza. Franco, one of the viewers of the channel, recommended it to me last time, so coming here again. It's called Pizzeria Regina. They do a good pizza. Okay, that's the pizza. That's 100,000 for that pizza. No need to show you what it tastes like. I already know it's a good pizza here. The thing is, you come to a place like this, the great thing about it is that there are lots of different options as far as food goes. So most nights you're not going to eat pizza, you're going to be eating local food like nasi campur or something like that. But because you've got so many tourists coming here as well, it makes this sort of food just so accessible. This is pretty much the central area here, and I'm quite close to the beach, to be honest. And from what I understand, I've asked a few people, this is actually where most of the bars and party scene is. And this is how it gets its reputation. So I want to see really if that is justified. Because my general feeling is the whole party thing's just that it's just not right, you know, especially because I've had a bit of a ride around the island today and confirmed that characterising this place as a party island really damages its reputation because it's not really that. So this is the general bar area, like that. And they're nice places actually, quite relaxed. They're not the big party vibe that we sort of have a vision of when we think of the Gilis and Gili T in particular. I was actually speaking to someone earlier today and they reckon that most young people don't drink like the old days. So most of these bars are fairly low key and they're not sort of going to all hours. They're not big rowdy places, which is really interesting. So for Susan, this is her first time back here in how long?
I remember more than 15 years.
More than 15 years? Well, I've known you for 15 years, so...
20?
20 years maybe. And she was saying that this whole section had a similar layout but looks totally different. So like this is all like modern style, yeah? And they're pretty empty, even though this island feels quite busy, all the bars and stuff are not really that busy. This place over here seems to be a little bit more popular, mainly because they've got a live musician on, I reckon. But that's more of a restaurant than a bar, to be honest. The thing about the Gili is, look at that, all that fresh seafood. Beautiful. They've even got it all vacuum sealed so that you don't get food poisoning and that sort of stuff. Not like the old school style where it used to be just fly blown and all that sort of stuff. Heaps of these grills, these barbecue fish grills. The thing is, this place, as an alternative to Bali, when you've
already done Bali or just had enough, I just think it makes a lot of sense. It's a classic holiday destination, and that busyness down there and that sort of beachfront path down there is really appealing to a lot of people, and the choices of food, and there's no cars or anything to dodge. It's just busyness, and that busyness that has a bit of excitement about it, and there are people loving it down there. Now, it's not my scene, but it's a scene for a lot of people. And the thing is, if you don't like that business, you can go to the northern end of the island or the interior of the island, where it's a little bit more low-key. In fact, quite rural and quiet, really quiet in those areas, but still, these areas are really accessible if you have a bicycle or one of those electric bikes. I've actually enjoyed walking around this island today and getting a little bit of a different perspective about it, and thinking about those things like, could it be a place to retire for a lot of people? And is it a great alternative to Bali if you've had enough of Bali or just want to look at something new? I reckon it's a good one. I actually think this is a place that if you've never visited before, you might want to check out, because you might just surprise yourself and enjoy it. Thanks for coming along for the ride today, and thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with all things Sonora and the rest of Indonesia. I'll catch you next time, and sampai jumpa.